What's up, YouTube? Very recently, I have found out that if you have a Palmetto State Armory rifle, specifically a PA-10, but I think this affects other rifles as well because we're going to be talking about a system that they use on multiple rifles, um, and you're really going to want to take care of that system, especially if you have one of the guns that have it, because if you don't, you're you're shit out of luck. Um, I've called Palmetto State Armory. I talked to their customer support. Let me just give you guys a quick background of how this went down. Before I spend a lot of money with a brand, and if I'm reviewing a brand, I will call and see how their customer support is, right? And the reason I called them, I was looking for parts and just stuff to throw into the gun bag with the rifle. So if I needed to swap anything out, I'd have it. And I realized I couldn't find these pins right here. And they're not pins, they're little screws. They're anti-rotation screws, uh, right? So these bolts right here are what hold your handguard bolted up to your upper receiver, right? And to keep the handguard from spinning and twisting so that you can actually put some stuff on here and not twist your rail, they put in these two anti-rotation screws, and they're really like a sleeve of a screw. It's like a screw with the very inside of it just kind of hollowed out. So what these screws are doing is they're going through the handguard and into the upper receiver. So if you want to twist the rail off, you'd have to shear these little screws off. So they are giving you some protection, some anti-twist protection there for the rail. That's what these are for. And this is apparently Palmetto State Armory's problem. Because you can't get more of these. In fact, what they told me when I asked for more of these is I need to send my upper in and they'll send me another upper. And that was just bizarre to me. I lost my whole train of thought. Like, I was going to end the phone call with her and I was going to tell her, look, this was for a review. Thank you for your time, this, and that. But, like, when they started hitting me with, like, yeah, you're going to have to send your upper in. And I thought about it and I was like, well, I mean, this upper's got 1,000 rounds on it. And I was like, well, I would get a new upper, but I like this upper. I feel very lucky to have this one. I don't even know if I would get this one back because some of them have a lot of the rail cut out. And I feel like I got one of the lucky ones that I actually wanted. On top of that, this upper is ran flawless for me. So even if this gun is one of one, it's ran flawless for me. I'd like to just keep it the way that it is. Why tempt fate if I already have something that I know is awesome enough for me to actually start upgrading this gun? For a second there, I was actually getting worried, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not going to be doing this. I don't actually need these screws. I mean, I do need them. I'd like to have another set of them. Everybody would, right? Because in order to take your handguard off, you have to take these screws out. You have to take these bolts out, and then you have to loosen up these screws as well, right? So if you break one of them, or goodness forbid, if there's a lot of strain put on your rail and you do shear one of these things off, you can't just replace a $2 screw now, I don't even know what you would do. Right? Like, are these screws just the value of your rifle now? Because, I mean, you're just gonna have to get another upper if something happens to those. They didn't give me any other options, and I got off the phone with that lady and, like, sat there and looked at my rifle and was like, damn, that changes a lot of things. So, like, what can you really do about this? First of all, I think it's just a waiting game. If somebody wants to make a lot of money right now, all you have to do is get a PSA rifle like this, pull these screws out, and if you got a shop at your disposal, if you're a nut forming engineer, I'm sure you could do this. Just recreate these screws, and I'm sure you would have no problem selling them for $5, $10 a piece all day. if PSA is not going to sell them. So eventually somebody will start doing that. Maybe PSA will start doing it, although I don't know why they're not doing it now, right? And I'm just going off what they told me. I even told the lady, I was like, this is ridiculous. Are we sure that we're talking about the same thing here? I describe these things to a T and their function, what they do. And she was like, yeah, you're going to have to send your upper in. And that's the faster way of getting this done, she said. You could go through returns and whatever, but she said you'd be faster just to send your upper in. We'll just get you a new one right now. So yeah, if you don't want to go through all that, like if you actually like your rifle and you know that it works for you so that you actually value that, right? What can you do to make the most out of this bad situation right here until we can either get these things or we can get these things, right? Well, you can see what I've done here. I've added a piece of just rail candy here. And this is what a lot of the more expensive rifles are doing. They're obviously doing it under the rail, but what I'm doing is I'm making another link between my handrail and my upper right here. More expensive rifles like Daniel Defense, they will have giant bolts here, so there's no way to twist those. You'd have to snap off large, heavy bolts. And you pay for that. You pay a lot for that, you know. It's proprietary technology typically with these gun manufacturers when it comes to actually connecting your rail to your upper. Blackout Defense, they have, I believe, 2 teeth that stick out of the handguard, and their upper has 2 holes in it, and those 2 teeth just go into those holes, right? And if you want to twist that rail off, you'd have to shear those 2 teeth off. They also have a system like this at the bottom, I believe. Like, this is a common system, these retention screw things in here. So we're not getting the most. We're just getting it down here. I suggest adding something up here, something that is going to connect your rail and your handguard, and it's going to clamp down on both of them together. I've also found myself doing this for one of the cheap Turkish shotguns that I just got. I'm probably going to apply the same thing here. Just put some protection up there just to kind of help the handguard out. So what this thing is right here is this is just a flashlight mount, right? So you guys can see the other side of it, right? It's just anything like this that's going to go on both of these rails and clamp onto both of them will work, right? So that's my suggestion. On top of that, we really want to value these things now. We want to take care of them. So what I suggest doing is, after you're done cleaning your rifle, fill these in with grease. Just do that. That's what I did. That way, because I mean, look, water can sit in here and a lot of fasteners will corrode. You can't really take the chance of these little screws corroding and getting weak on you. And water can sit in there. It can corrode them. So if you put some grease in there and you seal these off from the atmosphere, they're going to be much better off. So yeah, you're going to want to baby these, and you're going to want to add some more protection, some more anti-twist rail protection up here if you can. That's my best advice. That's what I'm doing for my PSA rifle until I figure this all out. This thing has been awesome, though. I do have to give credit where it's due, so I wish we could just work this thing out. It'd be one thing if PSA just didn't have enough of these to go around because they crank out so many guns, but they would have had that problem fixed by now. We're talking about tiny little screw things this big. How long does it take to get something like that worked out, right? So they're choosing to do this. If anybody knows why, leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to know. But until we can get a fix for it, I'm just going to have to baby this, and it is what it is. Later, everybody. Good luck.